Welcome to Mastering the Virtual Interview, part of our Class of 2020 COVID-19 Job Search Series. Today we will go over virtual interviewing and exactly what you need to know to be successful in a virtual interview situation. We'll discuss what a virtual interview actually is, how to prepare for the virtual interview, including all the components that are unique to it, how to prepare for the actual interview, and then the importance of following up. So the first thing that you need to do is understand what the virtual interview actually is. The virtual interview will take place of an in-person interview. So there will be no handshakes, there'll be no meeting actually in person. You're going to meet with them most likely with a video component over a product like Zoom or Google Video, something along those lines. There are some keys to this. The first key is that you need to be prepared. You need to know the position, and then you need to be able to follow up. We will go over all of these things today. Tip 2 is to test your technology. For many employers, technology is a top competency that they're looking for, and you're actually being tested with your ability to understand and use the technology. Now, this might mean that you need to familiarize yourself with a different platform, or it could be something where you might be very familiar with the platform, but you need to make sure that it works properly. A strong Wi-Fi signal is going to really help you. So make sure that you test that strong Wi-Fi signal ahead of time. Also, you don't want to have competition for internet speed the day of the interview. You might have tested your Wi-Fi speed the night before when everybody was sleeping, but let's say your interview is in the middle of the day. There might be other people in your house that are streaming video. That could create a problem. So make sure you don't have competition for that internet speed. You do want to have your cell phone with you, but have it on silent. And that's because it's a good backup. If the technology is not working, you can always make a phone call and talk to them over the phone. The next tip is we want to make sure that you look good. Lighting is really important. Make sure that you have light in front of your face and not behind your face. Try to record yourself ahead of time in the exact situation that you will be in so that you can see if you're well lit. Make sure to check the sound around you. You want to be in a closed room where there's not a lot of distractions. Also, have a simple professional background. That could be anything from a blank wall to a nice painting in the background, or even a window that has the outside. Again, as long as when you look at it on video, it doesn't look like there's too much light behind you. Let's look at a few examples of good and bad setups. So you can see here the first one, this person's face is very dark. He's backlit with the windows behind him. And that is not something that we would want. Make sure that your face is not dark like that. The second one is better, but still, because of the bright background behind him, that can be distracting. Our second example here, we can see that the one that I've labeled not as bad, it's okay, but she's not as bright. She's also being shot more from upward. So you'll see that you want the camera either at eye level or shooting down a little bit. And that gets better in the second picture that we see. She is much better lit. It's shooting down at her a little bit, but still our background looks like she might just be in her bedroom. Example 3 here, we definitely see a bad versus a good. In the bad example, he's got a lot of glare, certainly on his glasses. He's in a setting, maybe in his basement. He's not lit well. Whereas in the good example, he's put on a professional shirt, a button down. He's well lit. It's shooting down on him a little bit, and he's paid attention to his background. So make sure that all of these things happen. The next thing we want you to do is keep your virtual identity professional. One of the things is in the bottom corner, it might have your name. Make sure that you set that up so it's your full name and not like your email or initials. Be prepared to share your screen. This means that you want to have any tabs that you might have had open completely closed out. You want to be able to share your screen at any moment and not have to worry that the employer might see something that you don't want them to see. Maybe that's competition for another job that you're applying for or another company that you have researched. So make sure that your screen is ready to be shared at any minute. You also want to have your resume ready to either share with them on your screen or send. This means that at any moment, if they ask you something, you're going to be able to get it to them. Our next tip is dressing for success. You want to make sure that you're projecting professionalism, and it's going to go beyond just your username, your email address, or your online presence. We want you to dress as though you have an in-person interview, and this does mean from head to toe. So there's a good chance that you're only going to be seen from the waist up. However, you might have to get up at some point, and the last thing you would want to do is be wearing a business suit or business attire on top and shorts on the bottom, and if you had to get up and walk away, they see that this is the case. So make sure that you dress up from head to toe the same way that you would for an in-person interview. Simple and professional is usually best, so you don't have to go overboard with your professional dress, but you want it to look really good and crisp. It's also going to make you feel better about your appearance, and that will help your interview overall. The next tip that we have is to monitor your body language. We want you in a real chair, sitting up nice and tall. So you don't want to be sitting on your bed or sitting on the couch, anything like that. We want you in a real chair. If you have a desk chair, that would be best. Sit up tall, have your feet flat on the ground, and present that air of confidence. You want the camera to be at eye level or even shooting a little bit down, meaning that the camera would be a little bit higher than you. One, when the camera's lower than you, it's not as flattering. We get shots that look like they might be up your nostril. Really, we want things to look right by having that camera shooting either right at your eye level or slightly down. The other thing that's key is make sure that you're actually looking at the camera. It's very tempting to look at the interviewer on screen, or if you have a video of yourself up on screen, that's sometimes even more tempting where you're looking at you. Try to look directly into the camera. It will make a big difference for the interviewer who's viewing you. Especially do this when you're talking. If your eyes tend to move down to the interviewer when he or she is talking, that's okay. But when you're talking, try to look directly into the camera. Our next tip is to remove any distractions that you might have. Find a quiet, closed-door room. Be mindful of pets, roommates, if you have children, anybody that could make noise or come in to interrupt. You really want to try to have the best setup that you can, for this. Make sure that you turn off or you mute your electronics, TVs, cell phones, etc. And if you do want to use notes, which is tempting on a virtual interview, do not write things out. We're not writing things out and reading them aloud. You would only want to have some keywords. Maybe put those keywords on a Post-it note and post those notes right near the camera, okay? So again, keywords, do not write out full sentences because the interviewer will know that you're actually reading things, which is the last thing that you want to have happen. Okay, tip 8, you need to be prepared for the interview. For this, you want to prepare just like you would prepare for an in-person interview. Do your research on the company, understand how to how to answer traditional or behavioral-based questions, and then have questions to ask the interviewer at the end. Now, we have lots and lots of resources on interviewing right on our website, sju.edu/careers. We can really help you. If you can't find what you're looking for right on our site, definitely set up an appointment with us once you have the interview, and we will help you prepare for it. Preparation is the biggest key when it comes to strong interviewing, and we want to make sure that you understand what you need to do to prepare. Again, this is really more on virtual interviewing, so I'm just giving you these tips. However, we have lots of resources on how to prepare for that ever important interview. Okay, tip 9, don't forget to follow up. You want to make sure that you're sending a thank you note within 24 hours. This is super important. An email will do. You want it to be there certainly before the person makes their decision. So they might be interviewing multiple people and are going to make a decision based off of that. That thank you note needs to get there ahead of time. You want to make sure that you're asking the interview how they would like you to follow up moving forward and what the process will be. So this might be one of the last questions that you ask them, and you need to definitely follow up in the way that you said you're going to do so. So if you tell them that within a week you're going to get back to them either with an answer, or they say, make sure to check in with me a week from today, I'll have a better sense of what's going on with this process, you need to do that. That follow-up will help to separate you from your competition. Tip number 10, be yourself. The point of the interview is for you really to allow the person you're meeting with to get to know you a little bit. You want to smile, have fun. These things will come through. Even though there's a screen in front of you, if you're smiling and having fun, it really will make a difference. So this little cartoon that I have up definitely shows all the different things that we talked about just now. It's really important to include all of these and prepare for them ahead of time. These will be the key components that you will get to have, and when you do them right, the virtual interview can be just as strong, or if not stronger, than an in-person interview. Good luck. Understand that the Career Development Center is here for you every step of the way. We can help you prepare for these virtual interviews, for in-person interviews, or anything else that surrounds the job search process. We hope to see you soon.